Oh, is it video?
Yeah, it should be.
It's video, it's video, Taylor.
Is that in?
Yeah.
The death of Johnny Katz.
What?
Surf, rider, hair on fire. We were gonna save the world.
Hi, we're here in historic downtown Boston. Join me as we go further into the city life and see what we can discover.
Time by a clock of birds. The facts sail, plans fail. Kiss and you're on your way. Sky, wave goodbye. Make it small and then fade away.
I've been making movies since I discovered my father's video camera in a closet. Revisiting them now is like peeking into a time capsule when life seemed less serious and a lot more fun.
Hector, I don't need no son playing any piano. I told you about that time and time again.
There's not a whole lot to do growing up in Brighton, New York. When we weren't playing sports or video games after school, we'd spend hours making things up as we went along with a funny idea for a skit. I really don't know where our inspiration came from, but we could have a lot of fun improvising these ridiculous scenarios on the spot. I was a horrible actor though, because I could never stay in character or stop smiling. I eventually realized I was much stronger behind the camera. Being able to pull out all the elements together, with coordinating and directing the shots, then editing the footage with music and sound effects. When I was 13, I received a guitar for my birthday, and it changed my life. I started a cover band with 3 of my best friends, and we started performing for our grade at middle school dances. Music soon became the most important thing to me as I immersed myself in learning, practicing, and performing it. There was something incredible about these first performances, about being able to stand in front of a massive group of people and play for them, that really brought me alive and let me know that there was more to me than what I presumed other people saw. Music then became a way for me to restore balance in my life and connect with other people. With the trusted advice of my parents and friends, I went to a liberal arts school to continue my music studies. I was scared and I didn't know enough about the world outside Brighton, New York, so I went cautiously but with an open mind. College brought new friends and exciting experiences into my life. I traveled the world and learned about other cultures and about myself, but change was imminent from each semester, and eventually I felt even more confused and isolated. I felt like I just didn't know what I was doing. Originally planning on studying only music, I became an English major and then became interested in working in advertising. Throughout it all, though, I just felt like I couldn't keep up with everything. By the time I graduated, all I really wanted to do was play music and be rid of professors and instructions. I found an apartment by myself in Saratoga and just worked on writing music and trying to perform locally, but with not much success. I felt lost, depressed, and unable to see past my own disappointments. I left New York one week to go visit a friend in Boston I knew from college. When I arrived, I was surprised to discover that an even better friend was already living there. Enter Johnny Katz. A natural prankster, bamboozler, wise guy, and an all-around good-hearted people person. If anyone in this world spoke my language, it was him. John and I had actually been best friends growing up together in Rochester, New York, but eventually went our separate ways in high school and college. John had been doing his own soul searching since we last spoke, traveling Europe and living out in California. He had been interning at Surf Dog Records managing promotions for bands in California, but was now living in Boston looking for further opportunities in music and promotion. It also just so happened that a local Boston friend of his, Jessie Milch, was an audio engineering student looking for an artist to record for her summer project. Upon my move to Boston, Jessie helped me form a band and we immediately began rehearsing to record in the studio. I was so happy. This was exactly what I needed to happen. It felt like I had won the lottery. Jessie would help me record and produce a professional demo for free, while Johnny would help me promote it among all the local musicians he would meet. Things were really looking up. Maybe this music thing could work out after all. John and I eventually found an apartment together in Allston. Thinking we had it made, we naively became maybe too comfortable with our new living situation, feeling confident that everything would just work itself out like it always had. Sure enough though, after the recording sessions with Jessie, the band dispersed, and I was alone again to try and make it as a solo singer-songwriter. With Johnny's help, I played a few open mics and got on the bill for some shows, but I got easily discouraged from how slowly things seemed to be going. I wasn't writing new songs, and the audience seemed indifferent to the music I was playing. Reality began to sink in, and I became disillusioned with everything I thought I had come to Boston for. Johnny had been experiencing similar setbacks, with trying out different music blogs and radio promotional gigs, all with mixed success, but nothing sustainable that paid enough for at all. I soon became discouraged again, and decided to keep busy by focusing on other jobs and careers in sales and marketing. Maybe everyone else was right. I felt that I needed to change and become someone with a regular job and a regular salary and start taking responsibility for myself. I jumped around different jobs, really trying to become the person my bosses needed me to be, but found myself stressed and incompetent at the end of the day to do what other people needed. Meanwhile, the initial excitement of living in Allston began to wear off. Everything became less glamorous, less sanitary, and less safe. It was all falling apart, literally. Johnny and I eventually took a job waiting tables at a Mexican restaurant in Harvard Square, but quickly got worn down from the long hours and low pay. One day, in an act of defiance, we did something extraordinary. We wrote a song declaring our official resignation and recorded it on our voicemail for them to hear when they called back, wondering why we weren't at work.
We're not working at the Border Cafe. The money just wasn't enough for me. We've been working slave labor for free. But no more working at the Border Cafe. You scheduled me for double when I was off that day. We hope you treat your other servers kind, 'cause a restaurant job is pretty easy to find. We quit!
Now, some might say this was incredibly stupid and juvenile of us to not at least give a 2 weeks notice, and I definitely agree with that. But I think what was more important here was us realizing that we just weren't afraid anymore, not afraid to make mistakes and to be young again and have fun. Ultimately, I think we realized that life for us wasn't about getting a good recommendation or a grade or putting on an act just to get ahead. It's about doing what you love and not apologizing for it. As for Johnny now, I think he's going to keep pursuing music and promotional gigs until he can find something he can really make his own. I know he has his eyes on moving to New York City, possibly Brooklyn, for other opportunities.
Can you get that water a little bit? You don't want one? I got the whole water. You're gonna need a new bottle now. Can we go to a break so I can recover? Like, I'm horrified right now.
As for me, I'm currently in graduate school studying digital video production while working on my long-term goal of becoming an internationally successful musician. It seems everything's just come back full circle again for me. making movies and music. I look forward to starting the next chapter of my life. Someone once told me, there are 3 things you must know about yourself to get anywhere in life: who you are, what you want, and how you're going to get it. My name is Danny Schwartz. I'm a singer-songwriter, performing musician, and developing filmmaker. I hope to someday make my art my profession and be able to share it with as many people as I can. I don't know how I'll get there yet, but I'm working on it.